BNP Paribas, partenaire des plus belles histoires de Roland-Garros, aux côtés des ramasseurs de balles depuis plus de 50 ans.
Yeah, I think it was a solid performance from my side. Did a good job. It's tough conditions. Felt like you know, I started off well and my level didn't really dip throughout the match. Slight wobble to close out the second set, but apart from that, yeah, it was a good match against a good up and coming player.
Hey Jack, well played. The drop shot was incredibly effective today. How much of that was a plan that you and Trotz had come up with going in, and how much of it was just you being like, oh, you know, it's working really well, so I'm just going to keep on doing it?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of that, to be honest. I felt like you know, I was pushing him back with my forehand quite a lot, and then that shot was open. I felt like obviously maybe physically he was struggling a little bit towards the back end of the second and then the third set as well. So it was a good play because it takes a lot out of you having to run for drop shots, and I was hitting them for once pretty well today. So it was a good play. I think when you are pushing someone back with the heavy forehands or something like that, then you know they're not expecting that one. So yeah.
Do you feel like he's kind of maybe where you were a couple of years ago, where he's got all the raw materials, but he hasn't quite worked out sort of his best way of applying them yet?
Yeah, probably. You know, I think you know, it's obviously physically more difficult in the Grand Slams as well. You know, he's in the third round. How old is he? 18? I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I'm 23, so that's 5 years, and the amount I've changed in 1 year. So I think he just needs time. He's already top 50 in the world. He's doing incredible things, and his experience and everything's only gonna grow with more matches, more experience playing top players, more time practicing around, and you know, I think it's just, yeah, it's only going to go up for him. It's I think it's going to be scary what he's going to be able to achieve, I'm sure. Yeah.
On the drop shots again, you're never complimentary of them normally. So I'm curious, in general, like there are some players who kind of stick to what they're most comfortable with and what their strengths are, whereas you play them a lot and maybe do other things that aren't necessarily in your comfort zone. How important is that for you to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone and not just do what feels most comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, it feels, sometimes you know, it feels pretty natural to play them in matches. I don't practice drop shots. You know, I always say to my coach, we don't practice drop shots because I'll just hit them worse. Yeah, you know, the more I practice them, the worse I get. So it just comes to me naturally in matches because, like I said, you know, I'm able to push opponents back off the court, and then that makes me feel comfortable to hit a drop shot because I maybe don't have to be that great because you know they're so far back. So yeah, I mean, most of the stuff in my games within my comfort zone. You know, serve volley, sometimes I'll use that. You know, I feel comfortable serving volleying, but I could do that more. Again, against the best players in the world, you have to mix it up more and more. So I felt like, yeah, it was a shot that I used well today, and it was effective.
Hey Jack, just to follow up, I guess on your opponent, it looked a little bit for him today like it was a bit of a step up, too big a step up in quality of opponent playing you. And I just wondered, when you were sort of coming through similar age, what were the things that kind of rocked you back about, well, I'm used to kind of winning matches and suddenly I'm playing guys such another, like when you played Novak maybe at Wimbledon, what were the things that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think in Grand Slams as well, like the physical challenge, that gets in your head a little bit, thinking, oh, you know, it's one thing beating guys ranked, you know, 30 to 100 at 5 sets, but obviously playing, you know, someone who's confident and someone who's, you know, playing good tennis to feel like you have to win 3 sets it's a big physical challenge. I think that's tough when you haven't played loads of Grand Slam events. I think obviously just maybe just that experience of beating top players. If you don't have that, then you maybe feel a little bit like you have to do a lot with your tennis. You have to overplay maybe. I think last couple of times I played against Joao, he's, you know, come out really aggressive, and you know, I'm physical. I'm able to get behind ball after ball, and therefore maybe he feels like he needs to do too much. But I think, yeah, it's just experience, time and experience, exposure to playing against the best players in the world, and that, you know, only enhances your belief because you've been there and done it before, and you'll do it again.
Hi, Jack. As Simon was saying, you've been through the process he's going through now, and now you've made this huge leap in the last year. I just wonder, is there a match that you could pinpoint where you felt things are different now? That maybe not that I've cracked it, but that I feel differently about where I am. Yeah.
I mean, I think after I lost here last year, I was at a stage when I was, you know, I'd got to number 40 in the world, and I was trying to, you know, figure out what I was going to have to do to make a leap in my tennis. I guess there wasn't really any match that really changed it for me. I think winning my first title, that was the biggest thing for me, because I felt like, you know, I think I'd been in 2 or 3 finals, and I always say that sometimes in tennis that you can be a top player, but you might not have anything to your name. You know, you can look on. Sometimes it's nice to know at least I've won a title. You know, at least I've done something. So I think that was a big weight off my shoulders last year when I won Stuttgart, and then I sort of progressed from there. Really, that gave me the belief that I was, you know, right there, and making the semis of the US Open gave me that same effect. I think the more that I've accomplished, that's just helped me more and more to believe that I'm a top player. That mixed with being really consistent in my practices, and you know, like being able to play against the best players in the world, learn from them, practice with them. I don't know, it's just a mixture of everything. But I would say confidence is one. It's a confidence sport, but the main thing is being consistent in what I'm trying to do with my tennis, and finding, I guess, the blueprint of my game, which has only come together more and more.
Hi, Jack. Sort of connected to what you were just saying about the U.S. Open's effect on your self-belief, are there things you learned during that deep run there in New York that you can apply to other Grand Slam tournaments, and the differences that there are between playing a Grand Slam and playing a one-week event?
Yeah, I mean, there's definite differences. I think, you know, you have to sometimes pick your moments when to really push hard and when to maybe step your foot off the gas a little bit in Grand Slam matches. You know, the first couple of games, the sets are really important to get your foot in the door, especially if you've maybe won the first set, or I don't know. I want to get to the point where I feel like I am able to push really hard physically, like all the time. But I think you learn to sort of, yeah, like I said, when to push and when not to. The run in New York was great for me. I think the more times I've played 5-set matches, whether it be 3 sets, 4 sets, it just helps you to, you know, feel like you've done it more and more times. You know, I think of Andy and Novak and all those top guys, and they've just played hundreds and hundreds of these matches. I don't know how many they've played, but it just helps every time you step out there in a Grand Slam match and you complete another one, and that just banks more experience, I suppose. But I guess getting to the semi-final, that helped me massively. Yeah.
Hey Jack, you've got 2 straightforward wins now over Fonseca. I know you've kind of spoken about he has less experience than you. He's still been able to beat top players like Rublev. So do you think it's also a bit of a match-up thing, and what is it about your game versus his?
I don't know, I feel like both times I've played him, it's been hot in the heat of the day, and I'm able to get the ball rising on him. He's someone who likes to really hit through the court and hit hard. And when the ball's like up here at shoulder height, it's harder to, keep on hitting winners and going after the ball. I guess when I'm able to get behind every ball and the ball's coming back, it's harder to. He feels like he has to maybe go for more and more. I feel like the times that I played him, yeah, like it's just I'm able to get the ball back with quality more and more, and that's he feels like he has to go for too much. That's what it feels like. He served really well today at the start. I felt like I got a lot of returns back, and that puts pressure on as well. I serve well myself. I don't know. I don't want to say it's a good matchup for me, because I think I'm going to play him many more times, and I think he's going to only improve and get better and better. But definitely these first couple of times I played him, I felt like, yeah, my quality's been really good.